If you ask 10 fishermen where the best sight fishing in the world is, you'd probably get 10 different answers. But in my opinion, it's hard to beat a place where you can sight fish a 50-pound cobia and a 40-pound redfish within minutes of each other. That's why when my buddy Jack invited me up to Virginia Beach, I jumped at the opportunity. This area is situated at the mouth of the United States' largest estuary. And over the past 20 years, the popularity of this fishery has exploded. This popularity brings its own set of problems. And in this video, we're not only chasing the most epic sight fishing I've ever seen, we're also exploring the dangers that threaten this fishery and how we can all do our part to ensure that it lasts for years to come. We end out the video with an epic catch, clean, and cook that I had no idea I was going to enjoy this much. So join us for an extra special video. Some of the most epic sight fishing I've ever seen. Good morning, everyone. We are not in Florida anymore. We made our way up to Virginia Beach, and I am super excited for this video because for the next couple days, we were going to be doing something that I've always wanted to do. Always grew up dreaming about this. We are cobia fishing up here. They have a crazy cobia fishery that you guys are gonna learn a lot about. We're gonna talk through how we catch these fish, show you guys catching them, and talk through their entire migration, what the fish stocks looks like. A lot to unpack in this video, and I hope you guys are ready for this. I'm up in the tower now with Captain Jack. He runs King Tide charters here in Virginia Beach. How long have you been cobia fishing out here?
I've been cobia fishing since 2016, been running charters since 2021.
And the pictures that I see from this man, you guys are seeing a couple up on the screen, had me geeking. I wanted to get up here, see some of these big fish. And so we're gonna run out. Jack wants me to put the silly camera away so we can get on the fish, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Alrighty, so we just had a nice run across, this is the Chesapeake Bay, right?
Yep.
Across the Chesapeake Bay, and now Jack's gonna explain to you kind of what we're doing trying to find these cobia.
Yeah, so similar to a lot of the other videos, the cobia in the Chesapeake Bay, they migrate up from down south, and when they make it into the bay, they swim up along top of the surface, and pretty much we just cruise around at a trolling speed and look for them swimming on top, and then chuck a bucktail, live bait, hard bait, anything at them. We're really looking for cow-nosed rays, turtles, bait, anything that'll hold fish. I mean, there's a bait school right in front of us that we're gonna go check out.
Cobia being something that you sight fish, which literally means you see it in the water, you cast something at, makes it just one of my favorites, one of the more exciting things that you're able to do. And these fish up here, like you were saying, yeah, they sometimes light up on the jig, and sometimes they've already seen some stuff, so they're not willing to eat as good as other fish, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially it kind of depends on the time of year. Early season, they're usually pretty willing to bite, but especially, I mean, this population of fishermen, more so than the fish, has just exploded over the last 10 years, so they've gotten pressured more than ever before. So a lot of times we got to resort towards live bait or just switching it up and trying something that you've never thrown before, and sometimes you can get them fired up on it.
I'll throw whatever it takes to get one of these fish to eat. My biggest fish is about 70 pounds. Now, we won't be able to weigh any on this trip, but there's a possibility that you can catch a fish that big up here on a jig, on a live bait, watch it eat your whatever bait you present it. So that is always going to keep me going throughout the trip, and I'm excited. We're going to get started looking for these fish. As we started to make our way up the Chesapeake, it actually was only around 10-15 minutes until we saw our first fish, a really nice one on top. All right, we got a big fish, yep. A little closer to him.
Just kind of like, oh, there's Pookie to that.
My first cast on the first fish was not the most accurate, but even being a few feet off, this fish still seemed to spook as my jig hit the water, which gave us all a really sick feeling in our stomachs, because when these fish are spooky, there's not much you can do to get them to eat. All of us are already a little jumpy. There's a ton of brown grass that happens to be the exact color of cobia, and we're all just like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And there's always that anxiety of the boat, getting that first fish in. Like, you want that first fish skunk off the boat, and then everyone kind of eases down. But I have a really good feeling. Weather looks amazing, and conditions are looking good, and we got a lot of fishing to do. It's literally
Pretty far. Yeah, up on the left. Yeah. Okay, look at 11 o'clock by 80 yards.
11 o'clock.
In that wave, right? Big fish.
Oh,
big
yeah.
One. No, that's a big one.
That's a big fish. That's a very big fish,
that's a
y'all.
freaking big. We should probably twitch bait him, but you go for it. He's going. He would. I'll give you a cast. Full fast. Nope. He's on you. Slow jig. Might be right behind it, Travis. Not moving. Nope. All right.
Wow.
That's a nice one.
Dude, they're like orange.
Yeah,
The second fish we saw lazily seemed to look at the jig and kind of follow it, but it did not pounce on it. I was quickly realizing these Chesapeake Bay cobia are nothing like our Florida cobia that seem to eat almost anything. With the jig being 0 for 2, we decided to switch to a little twitch bait. But while we were tying that on, another fish popped up, so I told Captain Jack to throw right at it.
Just,
You got to cast at it.
Sure?
Yeah.
Get this on camera.
Yeah, no, we're recording.
Ready to roll.
I'm getting re-rigged, so Captain Jack's gonna cast on this fish.
Nice
He's right here off the front. No! He's on it. Came back on it. It's right there.
I'm gonna throw the spot at him. Hang on. Watch out. I got the spot.
I'm rigged up too.
That's a big fish.
I'm rigged up. Snip me.
All right, go Ryan.
With the third fish in a row turning its nose up at any lure we threw at it, we knew it was time to change up our tactics. So we pulled out a couple live baits that Captain Jack had prepared, and we rigged them up and got ready. So we just have our baits here in a bucket ready to go. So it's very easy to just pull them straight out of the bucket. Up where we're fishing in the tower, you can see the line connected all the way down. And we're just hanging out. They live like this for hours at a time, so it's not a problem at all.
Sailed.
Might drag right into him.
Pull it up a little bit. Need it.
Update. We have seen 4 nice fish already to start the day. Not one of them has eaten yet. We are throwing a combination of jigs, twitch baits, and live bait to see what they want to eat. But like Jack was saying, this is one of the more pressured areas that we're fishing right now, so it's never a guarantee. These fish are very different than other cobia that I've fished for in the past. When I fished in Pensacola last year, I saw 2 fish, caught 2 fish. That was over 3 days. This year, here in Virginia, we've been here like 10 minutes, already seen 4. We see another one?
No.
Okay. Cow nose rays underneath us.
There we go.
So yeah, there's definitely some cobia around here, but we just got to get the right one, got to find the right one. And y'all, these things are big. Over the next 2 hours, we made multiple attempts at probably another 6 or 7 fish. We threw the stick bait, we threw live baits, we threw the jig. None of these fish seemed to want to play. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I couldn't believe that cobia on top didn't want to eat. But that's the funny thing about fishing, man. When you think you have something figured out, you realize you absolutely don't. We knew that it could be a moon phase, it could be just something really weird that we weren't able to explain in the moment. But what we decided is that the tide looked perfect to try and head into the bridge and catch a big sheep's head, and then hit the cobia again in the afternoon. So this is not ideal. We've seen 9 fish now. Every fish we've got a cast on, and not one fish is actually committed. So you said it's feeling like midsummer right now.
Feeling like mid-July, but the season's not even open yet. These fish are being picky today.
Yeah, so even if we caught a fish today, can't bring any home, you can't harvest them.
So you typically are going to have fish that are more willing to eat because they haven't been pressured. But these fish are acting really weird. They're kind of scared of the baits. And yeah, I don't know. We might have to change up our tactics, but we still got plenty of time in the day. It's still early. A lot of fish around, just not wanting to eat. And I'm sure you guys think you know what you would throw at them to get them to eat. But I can promise you, these fish are acting weird. Okay, so change of plans just for a little bit. Basically, we have the tide slacking out right now, so Jack said this is a perfect opportunity to come in here under the bridge and try and catch a sheep's head. Now, like I said earlier, cobia we can't harvest this time of year, so in order to make a catch, clean, cook happen, we need to try and get some meat by catching one of these sheep's head here underneath the bridge. Basically, just working some live fiddler crabs. Like Jack has got, oh, let's see if we can see that thing. Oh, there he is. Live fiddler crab, just like that. Jack's gonna drop that underneath the bridge, and I'm gonna get rigged up and fish right next to him. Bang, they're down there, getting nips.
Yeah. So they're really tough to get the bite. I'll get you a big one for you. So you want to hook them like this. Try and cover as much of the jig as you can. So you take it like this. Also, by the way, these are Chong's jigs. Follow them on Instagram, Chong Che.
Chong.
Best in the business. Come all the way through here, and then you just want the crab to just barely come out the end like that. When you hold it up against the piling, they're gonna grab on, and it's a real subtle bite, but it just feels like a little bit of weight against the rock, right against the bridge.
Yeah, right on here.
We'll put it down about 15 feet or so. Just hold the tip right. And the bite's kind of like you feel almost like it's rubbing against the bridge, and then they just pull down with it. And when you feel the weight go down, you just kind of hit them up. Feel light? Yep.
It was real subtle, exactly like you said.
So for around 30 minutes, I embarrassed myself in front of these guys. I just had crab after crab picked off the hook, but Captain Jack made me feel a little bit better because he even missed a couple of his own. It didn't take too long though, because our mate William decided he was going to show us all up, and on his very first crab, he dropped down and hooked up.
Virginia is for lovers and also spooky cobia. Let's go. Let's go. Nice.
William gets one bite.
William has not been fishing at all this whole time. And he's like, let me drop one bait real quick. And sure enough, our guy is hooked.
First crab.
First crab.
The cobia.
Heck yeah. Get the giant net ready to go. This is a nice fish. Dude, look at the size of that thing.
Okay.
Yo, we got one.
How long? 23.
23 inch.
And a half.
That's a pretty good one.
24, honestly.
That would be a unit in Florida.
Right
That would be a giant in Florida.
Flat scale.
King Tide charters come here to catch cobia, end up catching sheep's head. You guys see right here, these things have some crazy teeth. Those are made for biting off of the barnacles, eating crabs, crustaceans. Almost look like human teeth. Actually crazy. And you hear these fish called convicts because obviously of the black and white stripes up and down. But it's a real nice one, man. Worked them on the bait caster.
Oh yeah.
And we've all fished multiple crabs, haven't caught any. First crab you fished, you catch a nice one.
Got them on.
And what's nice about these fish is they're legal to eat and they are actually delicious. This one's just realizing that he's coming home for dinner. He's not happy about it, but beautiful fish. Gonna see if we can pop one more real quick and then we're getting back to cobia fishing.
Now that we got a nice sheep's head in the boat, got the catch, clean, and cook ready, let's go see if we can find some waking cobia. The water's slicked out nice, they should pop up. We're gonna head up the bay, follow this sun, and see what we can do.
Back up in the tower, back trying to catch a cobia. Knocked the sheep's head off the list. It was a perfect slat tide situation and we were in a good spot to give it a try. So I'm glad we did, glad we got one in the boat. But we came here to catch a big cobia. We've seen at least 12 nice cobia today. A couple really big ones, so we know they're around. We just gotta find the right fish that actually wanna eat.
As we made our way back out onto the cobia grounds, I rigged up a live spot on this BKK J hook. Now these things swim super fast, so the first cobia we saw, I put it right in front of him, and man, it didn't take long for this fish to eat.
There we go, got him on. Oh!
That's
Oh, let's go. That was sick. That was sick. They're still there. They're still there. There was actually 3 fish in this pod, although the other guys were throwing lures at them and they didn't seem to want to eat. So we realized these fish were just going to be keyed in on the live bait. That's a beautiful 3-pack, y'all. And we got a beautiful cobia. Jack's trying to get one of the other ones. I just like watching it. Here, I'll come down. Let's get this cute little fish in the boat. Oh! This is exactly what we needed. We needed a little appetizer. Yep. Oh, this fish is not happy with us, y'all. This fish is not happy with us at all. Oh man, you hear that silk ocean going through the guides? You got the Saragosa 6K, some PE 2.5 silk ocean. You guys can always check that out. Oh, that's gonna be sick. Oh, in the net. Yep. Beautiful.
I'll go to the back, I'll bring it back there.
That BKK J hook right there was in the corner. This fish smoked it. Beautiful fish. Awesome start to the day. Fish absolutely smoked the live bait. And man, there's been some monsters today. This is not one of them, but this is a great appetizer. Yep. Great start to the trip, and it feels good to catch one, man, because we've seen at least 15 fish today. They have been super spooky, have not been wanting to eat, but this one lit up, and I'm actually really excited to release this fish, get him back in the water. Hopefully, one day, he turns into a 60-pounder.
There he goes.
So let's discuss why I think this fishery in particular is in danger. Now, if you all have followed me for a while, you will know that I love cobia and I love cobia fishing. I grew up doing this on the east coast of Florida from the pretty much early 2010s through like 2016. We had a pretty consistent sight fishery. For reasons that aren't 100% clear, that fishery has dried up. Florida's Panhandle has also had an absolutely legendary fishery. From the 80s through the early 2010s, it was one of the best cobia fisheries in the entire world. That fishery has also dried up. I found that out last year when I went and chased fish and only caught 2 in a 3-day tournament. So what went wrong? Why have these fisheries seemed to dry up? Now, like I said, it's not 100% clear, but we do know that overfishing definitely has an effect on these fish. Now, North Carolina and Virginia both continue to have a thriving cobia fishery, but it continues to get more and more popular every single year. So the more pressure these fish get, the more danger they're going to be in. We'll discuss what I think could be some of the best practices for all of these areas going forward. And we're gonna have an example of another species, another fishery that's absolutely thriving. But before that, we gotta catch a couple more.
Hooks of choice for this trip are gonna be these BKK live baiter 6.0s, really sharp, thick, slightly offset. Gonna be throwing a bunch of live baits on these. Perfect. So right here, we have what they call a live spot. We would call this some type of croaker, like a Mizuki croaker in Florida, but these things are fish candy. Snook love them, and so do cobia. So we got that BKK hook. Jack is just gonna take this bait, and he's gonna hook it through the top of the mouth like this. Bang, just like that. Now, we got that hooked on. This is exactly what it looks like.
As we pulled up to the next fish, it was time for Captain Jack to try his hand at one of these things.
Go ahead, bro.
He's jumping.
That was beautiful.
On the BKK.
That was beautiful. Right.
Smoke the spot.
Just like that, the day is changing. Bang!
Yep.
The boys stuck a tag in the smaller fish and gave her a quick revive before a really strong release.
Wow. That was a phenomenal release, my friend.
And then we tried messing with one smaller fish that was just hanging out around the boat, but he had seen his buddies get caught and he was not trying to actually commit to anything. So we moved on to some better water. We continued pushing, and it didn't take long until we found a pair, 2 fish on top.
Damn it. Neutral. Need another bait.
Pick up this rod. Just pick up this rod.
Big one's on. Big one's still trying to eat it.
Oh, big one just ate the bait.
And if you guys think the fight with these
Another bait
cobia is entertaining,
Get him,
you
Travis.
all are
Get
going
him,
to
Travis.
love the matchups
Your tip
at
wrap.
UFC 304 this
Big one
weekend.
anywhere. He wants that other
We've got a
bait.
welterweight title bout and a heavyweight interim title bout. And that's not to mention all of the epic prelim fights that are some of my favorite to watch.
Oh, come on, Travis. Travis got the good one. Let's go. Woo! You guys see that freaking jump?
I'm fired up for the action, and that's why I'm stoked to say that I've partnered with DraftKings Sportsbook for this video. DraftKings Sportsbook makes it easy and fun to really immerse yourself into the fights through a player-friendly interface. I know whenever I've bet on sports or fights in the past, my entire viewing experience is so much more intense. From the smack talk with my buddies to the anticipation of the last 2 minutes, it's something that really gets me as fired up as fishing does.
Whoa, ripping now. Ripping. Dude, literally that jump on video in slow motion.
So don't miss out on this week's action. New customers who bet $5 will instantly get $150 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code RYANMORIE.
Big one coming in. Big mama. Excellent. 2 fish, 1 net.
A huge thank you to DraftKings for sponsoring today's video.
Dude, let's go. Come on.
Another nice one. Travis got the double. Travis got the bigger one on it, but that was crazy. We pulled up on a couple cow rays, and these fish absolutely hammered the baits. It's really just crazy how much things can change in just the span of an afternoon. Maybe the tide changed. Maybe the fish just got in a better mood. Look at that. Big man catches big fish. It was crazy because this fish ate my bait first, and that fish was all lit up, wanted to get the bait from it, so we knew it was going to eat. Travis came in there, came in with the double, smoked that fish.
Tags in.
And we'll talk about these tags here in a second, but I want to get these fish back in the water. Jack, can you explain the significance of the tagging that you do for these things?
Yeah, so the Virginia Marine Resources Commission does a tagging program, and they have 200 active taggers in Virginia, and you can tag species such as cobia, spadefish, sheep's head, red drum, black drum, speckled trout, triggerfish, and a few others. I think they used to do gray trout. And so what we do with the cobia is they give you a tag. It's called a T-bar tag. It's just a little number. It's got a 7-digit barcode and a phone number. And so we'll tag them pre-season mostly, and it has a specific number. You record the length of the fish, submit it online, and if anybody else catches it, when you first catch it, you say where you caught it, how big it was, what you caught it on, and then when it gets recaught, it'll tell you how many days it was out, where they caught it, what they caught it on, and how much it's grown. So it's been really good. We've actually had a bunch of cobia recaptures. I had one last year that we caught in Sandbridge, and it got recaught in Long Island, New York 30 days later. So
That's epic.
didn't make a turn into the bay and decided to keep heading north.
Jack's also had a couple fish that he tagged in Virginia get recaught on the east coast of Florida, around my neck of the woods. So that proves that some of these fish do migrate down there, although it's unclear if it's every single one follows that exact same pattern. Jack also noted that while the fishery's still really good, it seems like the numbers of fish in the Chesapeake Bay have slowly started to decline. Now, he attributes that to more pressure here in the bay and also a lack of bait. Some of the commercial netting operations absolutely hammer the bait schools here, which leaves the cobia just less to feed on. At this point in the day, it seemed like we were starting to see fish wherever we looked, but I was still after a legit big one. They've grown big here in Virginia, and I wanted my shot at one of those monsters.
I see those rays, but now, yeah, okay, that's
that's a big one right there.
You got the
Okay, see
fish?
him right there? Right, see him waking? Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's her, dude. Give me a direction. That's her, right at
Direct
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, waking.
That's a 50-pounder.
All right. Try again.
Oh my God, boys, that was so sick. Oh, that's a unit. That is a unit. Oh my God.
Here you go.
Yeah.
You're good. Here. Come down.
Yeah. That fish wanted to eat. Woo! You hear that braid singing through the guides? We love to see that. Love to see it. Oh, look at that thing.
You can flip it upside down, stick it in the water, William. Just like that.
I'll pull her up.
Let me know when you're ready.
That's a unit. Yeah, they don't like seeing the net too much. Those breeding scars on that thing? That's kind of what it looks like. Thing's just death rolling. She is not happy with us. Dang, buddy, that was so sick. These fish are so mean with their head shakes. They don't like to be netted. I think that's why Virginia wants you to net them. They're like the hardest fish in,
They like it to be difficult.
might be the hardest fish in the world to net.
Gotta get his head up, keep it up.
That's sick, buddy. That's a unit. Woo! Let's go, man. Let's go. Hook came out just like that.
Look at this, guys. Beautiful, nice, big fish. Love to see it. Really stoked on this guy. We're gonna get a tag in her, get her back in the water. The fish are snapping now. We got some more to catch. And this isn't even a really big one. This is probably like a 35-pound fish. We might get a chance at a 60 this trip, so getting that tag in that fish.
Hang on, we're trying.
We're trying to get a tag in the fish.
There it is.
Perfect. Come over here.
Yep.
Oh, well.
There she goes.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to nicely revive that one, but she did not want to nicely be revived. She kicked out like crazy. That was sick.
Let's go.
Hey, man. Let's go. We're making it happen.
Go. Jack continued the fun with the next fish that we saw. This one was absolutely going berserk on top. It's so funny to see the difference a couple hours can make because these fish did not want to feed in the morning, but they definitely wanted to feed in the afternoon. Another really nice one coming into the boat. This one actually had a tag on it, so the boys recorded the tag, and then Jack just did one little grin and got a couple pics with this beautiful fish, another 25-pound class fish, and we sent her on her way. So now we have numbers of fish in the boat, we had multiple quality fish in the boat, but we were still lacking in the big fish department. We had seen those big fish in the morning, and we had yet to fool one. So I was gonna do whatever it took. I threw the drone in the air, and I was able to spot a really big fish on the back of a cowray. Honestly, this is some of my favorite footage that I've ever gotten in my entire life. Once I spotted it and confirmed it was a fish, I told the boys to go find the drone, drive the boat over to where the drone is. We need to cast a bait in front of this big fish. This was going to be our shot. The day was kind of coming to a close. The visibility was not that good. So we have Jack on the wheel, me controlling the drone, Travis on the rod, and William ready to net this fish. Really was going to be a team effort in order to get this big fish in, but we still had to fool it. So getting a bait in front of it, getting that proper cast was absolutely crucial. So I was hoping Travis wasn't going to mess it up. Watching this thing had me absolutely geeking. And the more I watched it, the more excited I got. It's like, guys, you got to get over there. You got to get over there. Sure enough, Travis was able to cast, and when this fish saw the bait, it wanted it.
You guys are getting a little voiceover right now because I literally just got that eat on the drone of that freaking cobia. That was so sick. Yeah, I watched him eat it on the drone.
Yeah. I'm turning. I'm full turn. I'm going. It's a mean one. Dude, that's a big one. Holy crap.
That's a really big fish. Holy cow. That's a really big
Dude, Ryan, this is like a 54 incher. Yep. That's a big girl, y'all. That's a big girl.
Pretty well, really. In the boat.
That's a big girl.
Nice one. Nah, it's like 50.
Yeah, it's a big fish, though.
on, that thing is
On the drone.
That is sick. Got the eat and everything. Let's go.
Captain King time, baby.
Putting them on. Captain Ryan Droney.
Unit.
That's a nice fish, y'all.
No, we still got time. We got plenty of time.
Here, let's hold it up for the drone. William, grab this. Get some close-up shots of his head.
Got it.
Yeah, land vertical like that. Sick. You're like, oh, one behind us, and I can see it in the clouds. Man, that's a big fish.
There we go. BKK J-hook right in the face. Got that cobia, no freaking problem. So beautiful, man.
Big fish. If you want to take a thumbnail shot with this one, you're welcome to.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how we want to do this. We're just gonna...
Riding on the high of that big fish, we were actually making our way in. We were done for the day. But we decided to drop some jigs at one last spot just to see if we could hook a species that we hadn't seen yet today. And sure enough, Travis was able to do it on his first or second drop.
No. This man, you wanna go on a charter with this man right here. He's just trying to have a nice day off, and this weirdo keeps sticking a camera in his face.
It is a drone.
Wow. Live action.
See the boat turn this way, Travis.
It's an angry one, man.
Nice fish.
Look at that. Dang. Great work, boys. Look at that. Great work, brother.
Yes,
That is
sir.
a beautiful fish, and it ate the jig. We're throwing all sorts of bait at it, and you catch it on the freaking jig.
All right.
Woof. Man, Nux. Nice.
Hey, that is going to be a wrap on day one. Got the big cobia, got the sheep's head, got the drum, but there's so much more fishing to go through. I still got to try and get one of these 60-pound fish because there are some monsters out here. Missed some opportunities today. That's what we really, really want. And also, what we have to do tomorrow is we have to find these giant schools of redfish that they get here. Hundreds of them. I want to get the drone over these things. I want to see these things eating on top because that is a fishery that I've always heard about, never seen in real life. And that is what we're looking for tomorrow. See you guys in the morning.
So how do we ensure that this fishery doesn't fall apart like the Florida site fisheries did? And how do we, do our part as anglers to make sure that this fishery is sustainable for years to come? Well, to start off, the state of Virginia has already cut a lot of the ability of anglers to keep these fish. They've protected these fish more heavily. They've started seasons on them. You can no longer gaff them. You can only net them. And that's definitely a great start. These fish are only going to get more popular. But these fish don't only live in Virginia. They spend time in the Carolinas. They make their way down the coast to Florida. So all of the states have to have their own plans to ensure that this fishery does last. Florida has recently slashed its regulations where essentially we used to be able to keep up to 6 per boat. Now we can only keep 2, and the minimum size limit is 36 inches to the fork where it used to be 33. So the states are working on it, but only time will tell if these regulations will actually bring the fish stocks back. A lot of people in Florida want to call for moratoriums on these fish, as in you can't keep them at all in Florida. But in my opinion, when government agencies tend to take away the ability to keep fish, it is very difficult to get that ability back. So I'm not one that's going to jump to that right away unless we've exhausted all means of bringing this fish back. As anglers, we need to make sure when we catch these fish, if we're not keeping them, we're taking as good a care of them as we can. And we just need to place value on this resource because this is an awesome fish and I want my kids to be able to catch them one day.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day number 2. We are back out on the beautiful Chesapeake. Captain Jack is ready to go. We are looking for more big cobia, but what I really want to do today is get on some giant schools of redfish. So they have these huge schools here that you can sometimes find by the acre of just giant, like 40, 50 inch bull reds. So the game plan for today is to go out, try and catch a couple more cobia because there's big ones around and we know where they're at. And then once it lays down a little bit, gets a little calmer, we're gonna head out to the ocean and try and find those big reds. Stay tuned. Here's what we got going on. We were running out to start the day, to start day 2. And Jack about ran over 2 really nice fish. I made a cast at him with the jig, they followed it. He made a cast at him with a little twitch bait, and the big one absolutely smoked it. So we got Papa Limroth hooked up right here on a real big one. This thing probably ripped like 100 yards right off the bat. And now you fish a little bit lighter drag with those treble hook baits, but man, this is a big one. Might be bigger than anything we saw yesterday.
They got a lot of line out. Yeah. Just looking at this thing.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
There's no pressure. We're just having fun. We talked about that yesterday. We did all the hard work.
Now we're just having fun.
Whew.
Really big.
Really big. Spinning.
You in gear, Jack? Still good. Yeah,
He might.
it's in his stomach.
Is it? Oh. Beautiful.
Well, for all those watching, he did try to eat it. I promise.
We watched him try it.
Big fish stuff.
That is a stud.
Here, I'll get that.
What we got?
Like 50 and a half.
50 and a half.
Here in Virginia, y'all, they use overall measurements. Back home in Florida, we use fork measurements. So 50 and a half. This fish would be like 46 inches in Florida. Beautiful. That is a king tide fish if I've ever seen one.
Nice start.
Yeah, Team Limroth on a big one. Start the day. Beautiful. Now we can tell this is a female. Why, Jack?
So if you look at them, just kind of by they swim, they're a little bit slower. We kind of say they waddle a little bit. And she's got some curves. You can tell her stomach's got some eggs in it, whereas the other fish with her was nice and skinny and they swim a lot faster. So sometimes the females don't want to bite, but we got lucky today. With
This
a nice
female was hungry.
Yeah, she's a female because she's so pretty.
Ah! I thought you were gonna say because she's so stubborn. Let's go.
Oh, good stuff.
Up in the tower, me and Captain Jack are looking. I'm trying to get a cobia on a jig today. We got all of our bites on live bait yesterday. Already started the day though. His dad got that fish on the twitch bait. So we got one to eat, an artificial. Now your boy has to try and catch one on artificial. It's hits a little bit different when you get one to eat a jig or something like that and you can set the hook on the jig, man. It is a cool experience. Not that I don't mind catching them on live bait, because if they don't eat this jig in the first couple fish we see, I'm throwing live bait again. I don't care. I just want to catch a really big one.
So after I filmed that clip, we actually made the decision to run out to the ocean front where we knew we could find a big school of redfish, or drum as they call them here. Now you think a school of 100 goldfish that are all 30 to 40 pounds would be pretty easy to spot. But as we learned, it is not always the easiest. They have to actually be on top, and these things aren't always on top. We looked around for hours, and now we saw some signs of life, things popping on top that I took random casts at. We saw other boats working what looked like schools, but we never found a school of our own. At least we didn't for around 4 or 5 hours. We were actually about to call it until William, from the deck of the boat, said, "There's a school right there."
Yep. So, bunch of redfish, big ones we think, up front.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Is that them?
Yeah, it's definitely them. Hang on, Dad. Let's get two from get Ryan again. As soon as you think you can throw it, but make sure you can get it past him.
Okay.
I can get a little closer. Yeah, I know. Jig it. Got one on. Come on.
No, he's just charging me.
Got two on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Got two on. Dad, school's over here. Right here, 11 o'clock.
You're good.
School's up right there, Dad. Just let it sink.
Woo! That was cool. William spotted him from down on the deck. 3 on.
Captain needs one. Yeah, William's
Woo! That was beautiful.
I see them all. You're right. You're right.
So sick. So sick, y'all.
I will. Right in front of you, William.
All right, I am down from the tower, tied on a nice big red. We got the other guys up in the front, tight on the reds. This is beautiful.
Oh, there's more behind the boat too.
Right there, yeah.
There he is. There we go.
There we
Quadded
go. We
up.
got all 4 hooked up.
God, that took a minute though.
All 4 hooked up.
William, thank you. Yeah, we're filming the whole thing.
This is sick. What's up? Having a great time.
Good? Feeling good about life?
Feeling great, living the dream. Oh, you got a stud.
Color on that thing.
Check that out, guys. Freaking three stud redfish. We got another one hooked up in the back.
Right there.
This is beautiful. When you come up on these schools, these fish are rearing and ready to feed. Absolutely sick. Look how beautiful these things are. Eating the jigs, eating whatever you throw at them. It's all about getting the boat in the right spot, treating these fish the right way. So we're gonna get these fish released. Stoked, man.
Let's
go. Woo!
Best way to release them is just head forward like a torpedo.
This was exactly what we wanted. We had a whole big school of redfish all to ourselves, and we could catch as many as we wanted.
Everybody out in the world, stop messing around. Calling all you freaks and nerds, you're just missing what you want. My brother's going down the drain, my sister's living the dream, but everybody's singing along. It's okay, we'll all soon be gone. Hey, what's the matter with the bright red lights? Hey, in the moment when the world went blind, but everything's alright. We don't give a damn this time. Woo! My daddy was a gambling man with no strategy. Who gives a shit about him anymore? Guess we never really settled the score. Half the town screaming out in vain, the other half is fake, but everybody's singing along. It's okay.
The only reason we even found these things is because our man William found these fish on the beach. And ladies, he's single. I actually don't know if he is or not.
Take it.
Ah!
Take it, but hey, hire me for some eyes.
Still, ladies, hit him up anyways. That was the most epic redfish bite I've ever seen. Seeing those fish blowing up, seeing the whole school getting to sight fishing, and having them all to ourselves was absolutely a treat. But now, we still got some time left in the day, so we're looking for that cherry on top. We're looking for that 60-pound cobia. We saw him yesterday. Who knows, man? Might be able to go find one. We're headed back to where they live. We'll see you guys over there.
So we only had half a day left of fishing. Now, I really still wanted to try and get a true giant cobia, but I also wanted to get any cobia on a jig. And I still had one more thing that I didn't accomplish, and that was getting this big school of redfish on the drone. And that's just because where we were was a military zone, and I could not film those redfish with the drone. So I was hoping we might run into another school. The first thing that we did run into was a pair of cobia on top.
On the jig, jacked him up, boys. Woo! Had to try and get one on the jig while we're here. Woo! Oh, that was so pretty. Came off.
Did it come off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
Pulled them off.
It's okay.
After I pulled off that last fish, we came up on another pair that just didn't want anything to do with the jig. So we continued pushing on, and we kept running into fish that didn't seem to want to do much of anything with the jig. Then we went through a solid 2-3 hours where we didn't see anything. I had the drone in the air, and I had all but given up when the guys stopped the boat, and I guess the boys found a 5-pack, and they were hooked up from the tower.
In, working our way home, and a nice pot of 5 fish popped up. Threw a nice live spot at them, and she smoked it. Got the biggest out of the group, probably a nice low 40-incher. Got her on the light rod, see if we can get her head turned. Almost. There she is. You need to get that drone down now.
I got like a minute or two.
Okay, we'll just sit neutral.
Yeah, you can try to catch it right now.
There we go. Just stay neutral. Coming up right here. Solid fish. Nice fish. Keep coming. One more pinwheel. Keep coming. No.
Oh, he's right top of the mouth. Shoo! Success. Very nice.
With the boys landing that last cobia, we figured the day was over. Jack was just reviving it, kicked off, and we were headed home. That was until, from the tower, Jack was looking on the other side of the bridge, and he's like, dude, I think there's a massive school of redfish over there. I think I see just solid gold. I was like, we got to go check it out. And sure enough, as we headed over there, it was the biggest school of redfish I have ever seen. I quickly grabbed my drone, threw it in the air, and I was able to capture some of the coolest shots I've ever seen.
Now, that was absolutely crazy. We were on the other side of the bridge, and Jack's like, I think there's a giant school of drum over there. We cruise under the bridge, and sure enough, we come up on thousands of these things. I spent the whole time, popped the drone in the air and filmed all of that. These guys caught a bunch of those big ones. We're gonna see if we can find them again. I landed the drone, now I can actually fish, but either way, man, that was crazy. Scoot around for a little bit longer, see if we can find them, see if I can catch one of those, and maybe we'll find a big cobia while we're looking for these things.
I'm about to get in right here.
Oh, I see him.
Pull. There you go. Now jig it.
Oh yeah, they're rolling on you.
Got him. You good? You got him. That's a big one, dog. Let's go. Dude, talk about dumb. All right, you ready to hunt? Talk about dumb luck. I literally just bumped right into him.
Woo! Yeah, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
Let's go. That was sick. They are, Dad, if you look at 3 o'clock, right there, like 60 yards. Yeah, I see. Ryan, that thing thumped you.
Thump the jig, boy. Oh, look at that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Tail slapping. In the net. Unit. Oh, it's fun hooking them in the tower. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. 60 pounds of drum in that net.
My biggest doubleheader red of all time.
Oh, yeah.
2 giants, man. Let's go. That's
Where-
awesome.
Where are you fishing today?
Ooh, welcome to Virginia Beach.
Now, these redfish are an example of a sight fishery that is absolutely booming. These fish are everywhere and they eat a little bit of everything. There's actually people calling for you to be able to keep 1 or 2 of these. And, you know, I think that would be pretty cool. But that is a conversation for another video.
That was crazy. This place is wild. Okay, so we just made it in. We're at this place called the Back Deck here in Virginia Beach. Awesome, getting some drinks, hanging out, relaxing. But what we gotta do is we gotta clean up that sheep's head, and we gotta cook that sheep's head tonight. So we're going to cheers real quick, and then we will see you guys at the fillet table. We have that sheep's head that we caught in this video. Captain Jack's gonna clean it up because I've only cleaned a handful of sheep's head in my life. So I was like, you know what, man? You clean more than me. Let's get you let's get you on camera.
Let's do it. Yeah, so the big thing with the sheep's head is if you've ever caught them, they got a huge rib cage. So I kind of follow this lateral line to get down on them. So I guess just start same old, start up here, start behind the head. And then what I like to do is start right here and just go right around it. So if you come just down there right to the anal fin and start just like that, they got these big scales. Flip them over, point your knife towards you, and just start with 1 long incision down the back, follow that all the way down, and then pop this up. Meat kind of starts to fall off, run right along the backbone. Beautiful. Get to the top where the pin bones are, and I'll take it like this, come in that crack, pop it in there, gives you a little handle, work it right there.
These fish are delicious too, y'all.
Super good. Especially when you get the big ones, they get a lot more meat than the small ones down that y'all get in Florida.
Yeah, is this like average size or?
Yeah, so this one was just under 24 inches, which in Virginia, a release citation, we do a citation program for trophy fish, and release citation's 24, so this is considered a big one, but if you get out there to the bridge and do it enough, a lot of them are 22 to 25 inches. But there's one side. So with this, pinch it at the end. I'm using a 8-inch Dexter. Start it just like this, kind of use the flex side, follow the knife down. Use my left hand to pull, right hand to push. Flip that off.
That looks good.
Pitch that in, knock the other one out real quick. Push and pull. Got a little more ribs on this side. Knock that out. Toss the skin. Here. Take that middle line out with the blood line. The pin bones run right here. I just get as close as I can to those. Work that down, and then just cut that bloodline piece out. And you're good to go.
Nice.
Taco is ready to roll.
So, welcome to the kitchen. Welcome to Casa de Limrock, Casa de King Tide.
Yeah, we like it.
We got Mama and Papa in the back. We're ready to go. And Jack is going to do all the cooking, which makes it super easy for me. I just get to play cameraman.
Yeah, so we got that sheep's head from earlier. Pretty simple recipe. We're gonna do a little lemon butter pasta with some blackened sheep's head on top. Main 2 ingredients, we're gonna go with the Tony's and just some cracked black pepper. So just a little light dust of that.
That sheep's head looks really good too.
It's gonna be good.
I think I saw Jack taking the bloodline off of this. So every bit of red, for the most part, he cut off already. It's just a stronger flavor, so he removed all of that.
Yeah, a lot of the bottom side, we take the main line out of it, but especially this fresh, catching it today, it's not too bad. But just both sides, put some of this little dust in. Not too much, it's a little salty, but it's good stuff. It's kind of a nice little coating. And that's all we're doing with the fish. And then Dad's got some corn going over there. Going with some pasta, cut it in half. Got a couple people, so we might put a little more in.
Oh, you're speaking my language.
Maybe.
I was starving yesterday, or starving today.
Stir that up. And then once that gets... Yeah, so got the cast iron nice and hot. Usually wait till it starts smoking to get a nice crust on it. Just a little coating of olive oil on it. Take these nice pieces of sheep's head. Just 2 at a time.
What'd you just add to the pasta here?
So we added a little salt, a little pepper, some Parmesan. Now we're gonna cut up a lemon, get a little lemon, and some butter. And then we'll see if this butter knife can cut into this lemon.
I'm not even filming that, don't worry.
How about a little corn butter?
Ah, yes, this is what we need.
No.
A little bit of this.
Give it a nice stir.
Warning!
Wow.
Yeah, it looks good.
That smells so good.
Some parsley, fresh out of Mom's garden.
Now, was that parsley grown with love, or?
Very much so. Absolutely.
Oof, that's looking good. Wow, you're a pro.
Little Parmesan and we're ready to go. Catch, clean, cook style. A little piece of corn on the side. A little corn on the side.
You've said catch, clean, cook more times today than I have in my entire life.
The 2 pieces is for you, Ron.
Oh, perfect. That is quite the view in the background. We are all gonna dig in. This is an awesome meal. We're gonna try it out and we'll see what it tastes like. You guys can see that sunset behind me. Sorry for the bright lights, but this has been an awesome video. An amazing group of people hosting me here. A bunch of new friends that I'm going home with. I want to thank you guys for watching. This video is really special to me. If you're interested in more awesome fishing content, go ahead and check this one out here. YouTube really thinks you're gonna like it. See you guys over there.